Yeah! So, what's up, guys? I am PrestonSmiles. Thank you for having me once again. Super excited. Yeah. Like I said earlier, I just love that this is Texas. Because, Texas gets somewhat of a bad rap, especially in the personal development, no one thinks of Texas when they think of people who are waking themselves up, and you guys are actually doing that, and you're doing it in a major way, and I love that. So I want to give a special shout out to all the Spanish speakers. If you guys wouldn't mind standing up for a second. Anybody who came here and has the headphones in, could you guys stand up? Let's give some love to them. They don't want to stand up back there, but that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So you gotta think about that. They're going out of their ways to go learn something that isn't their native tongue. I think that's huge and beautiful. So, like I said, my name is PrestonSmiles. I'm a messenger of love. I'm sent here to remind us all that no matter what the question is, that love is the answer. That underneath all of our stories about each other, gay, straight, white, black, Christian, Muslim, Indian, Pakistani, what labels we're going to use, that underneath all of that, the only thing that remains is love. And I've made it my mission, like Vic spoke about, to ignite and empower people to step into their greatness now. Not someday when everything is perfect and it's all worked out, but now. So I write books. I actually have a book coming out called Love Louder. June 7th, so if you guys are on my social media and all that stuff, thank you. It's my first one. I lead workshops all over the world with my fiance, who you guys are going to hear about later. All things human for me. I love us. I'm not sure if it's bleeding off of me, but I love people. I love the human experience. I love how freaking awesome it is that we get to be here now, So it lights me up. Are you guys ready? Everybody ready? Okay. If you wouldn't mind, we're gonna do a little something. You guys know I always come with something. We're gonna do a little something before we jump into a beautiful story that I want to tell you. So everybody stand up right now, but stay in silence for a second. And this is gonna be layered, okay? So the first instructions are to find somebody you did not come with and just partner off with them. Just stare at them. Find a person you didn't come with that you don't know in this room and partner off with them. With this person this miracle that you've ran into, I want you to, in a moment, to hug them as if they are your long-lost best friend that you have not seen in 10 years. Do that in silence. Go for it. Haven't seen them in 10 years. Long-lost best friend. There we go. And a caveat to that is, hold the hug, stay in the hug. Get in the hug for at least 20 seconds, there you go. Three-way hug, there we go, right there. There we go, stay in the hug. Guys, I see you. Hold the hug, men, hold the hug. There we go. Okay. Now, in silence, stay standing. I want you to face that being. Somebody come up here for a second. You're gonna face them like this, about this far away. Yeah, about there, okay? So everybody just face your partner in silence. No more words now, okay? This is the serious part. No more words. Face somebody. You two, we have one. Can you do it with him? Right here. There we go. Everybody should be looking directly into another human's eyes. Shh. Just take them in. Look them in the eyes. Just notice this miracle in front of you. Notice the urge to make faces and your lip quivering and all of those things. Shh. Just be seen. Now, I want you to give yourself an opportunity to dive into their souls. Just for a moment. Fight the urge to say anything. Just be present. And allow yourself to see this gift. This person who's been knocked down over and over and over again, and they keep getting back up. They keep loving. They keep giving. Just take them in. And now I want you to put your right hand on your heart, still facing them, eye contact, breathing all the way into your stomach. And I want you to repeat after me. I see you. I see who you really are. I see that you are a miracle. I see that you are powerful. I see the pain in your eyes. I see the wisdom in your eyes. I see the gift in your eyes. And I think Preston is sexy. Hug your partner, hug your partner. Have a seat. Fantastic. So, sisters, where are you out? Alka, Malka, Gita, everybody, you guys stand up. Pooja, where are you at? You stand up. Guys, let's just all just extend our hands towards these beautiful women that, yes. But in silence, let's just send them a powerful blessing right now. Because as you guys know, it takes a lot to put stuff like this on and to be a stand for this, especially when this is not, you're not making a bunch of money off of it. This is out of the goodness of their heart, you know what I mean? So let's send some love to them. Thank you guys so much. We see you and we thank you as a community.
We love you. Woo!
Okay, so how many of you guys were here last time? How many of you guys heard me speak? Okay, awesome. Some returns, awesome, fantastic. So yeah, he mentioned it. I do inspirational videos and speak all over the world and lead workshops, and anything I can do to support humanity, I'm in it. And I was doing this and have been doing this when nobody was looking, and now a lot of people are looking, and it's awesome. But it still doesn't make or break me. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is just a side note. Anything we must have has us. Anything we must own owns us. So for me, I'm constantly reminding myself and being in the conversation that if all this went away, right? All the money and and all the stuff, I would still do this. Therefore, I'm free. I don't have to have any of it. The things that I have are awesome. Love them. Enjoy the heck out of them. But I don't have to. Follow me? Fantastic. So listen, wow, it's so interesting every time I turn that. So I'm going to tell you guys a story, and I'm going to tell you my love story. I have a fiance named Alexi. We can go to the first slide so you can see this is her. Go to the next one. That's a little too, yeah, there we go. I saw some of the fellows like, oh, okay. This is my fiance Alexi. We travel the world. We work together. We're together like for all the time. And this was a match made in the stars. And I'm going to tell you this story, and it's super intricate and crazy because as a reminder that what you seek is seeking you. That's Rumi said that, correct? Anybody? Rumi. What you seek is seeking you. Right? So anything you could name right now that you want, that you're looking for, the truth of it, like the bottom layer of it, because a lot of people want the house, and they want the car, and they want the fame, but what they're really looking for under that is to feel worthy, is to feel secure, is to feel beautiful, right? So when I say what you seek is seeking you, I mean more of the ways of being and less of the things that we're chasing, even though those things are awesome. Nothing wrong with that new house or anything of that nature. So 4.5, maybe 5 years ago, I gotta think about the numbers, but probably about 5 years ago, after a lot of things that occurred in my life, including getting sick, which I told some of you guys about. I had a heart condition, and I didn't want to die, so I made some drastic changes, and all of this stuff started happening, and I started raising my vibration. I became this like dope dude that everybody wanted to hang out with, and they're like, yo, P is enlightened, like I gotta hang out with them, right? And all of this stuff was happening for me. And I went to a party one day. Can you guys hear me? This sounds weird. Yeah? Okay. So I went to this party one day, and this girl was doing these things called a human design chart. Anybody know what that is? It's like, kind of like an astrological chart, but it's a little different. So she's doing everybody in the party's chart, and she goes, Preston, do you want yours done? And I was like, sure. I don't really do those things, but let's just see. So she goes through the chart, and she gets to a particular part, and she goes, And I was like, what's Like, tell me about And she's like, well, I just did all these people's charts, and I saw some beautiful stuff in there. She told me this whole thing. And then she got to the part about love. And she said, whoa. And I was like, okay, so what's whoa? I need to know about that as well. And she said, it says here that you're meant to do great things, that you will be on this planet and you will do great things. But you will never be as great as you could be without your queen, without your counterpart. And take in mind, before this, I had never had the thought of wanting to find the one or even two. I was chilling. I was like, everything was great. And I still was releasing the story of relationships will distract me from whatever. That's the guy conversations that we have sometimes. So she tells me this, and it landed in there a little bit. Have you guys ever had that experience where somebody reflects something back to you and you're like, whoa, feel that one, okay. And whether you say something or not, it hits you. So I go back home that night and I'm just like, wow, the one, interesting. The queen, okay. I can see what that feels like. And a few weeks later, I went to another gathering, and this dude named Richard is there. And Richard says, we're talking back and forth, and he says, oh yeah, I do human design charts. And I went, oh really? I was like, yo Rich, you think you could do my chart? He was like, yeah, let's do it right now. Because I wanted to see if this stuff was real, I'm like, let me see. So Richard does my chart, goes through the thing, has a couple whoa, okay, cool. And he gets to this part, and he goes, whoa. And I'm like, what's whoa, right? I didn't tell him I've ever done the chart before. And he goes, well, it's interesting because what the chart is saying, in essence, is that you are here to do great things. Great things, Preston. But you'll never be as great as you could be without your one, without your queen. And that's twice, right? So have you guys ever had that experience where things just keep knocking at your door? And you're like, yo, all right, God, I hear you. So I went home that night, and it still was sitting with me, which I took as a third knock. And I work in threes, triangle, right? That third time comes, it's on. I'm all in. So that third knock came, and remember, all you guys have to do is see this for yourselves. Some of you guys are getting knocks right now. You may be on the second knock, okay? So third knock comes, I'm sitting with it, and I go, okay, it's time. So make the decision. 6 months of celibacy, right? So I can see who I am without my animal having conversations. And for men, you know what I'm talking about, where your animal sometimes has conversations and you can't really hear your heart or your brain because your animal is like, I want that. What I'm saying? So, can I talk like this here? Is it okay? This is the truth. All right, so This is not a church, right? This is like a funeral home. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. So I make the decision that 6 months of celibacy, and when I say celibacy, I mean literally everything. And I'm not going to get too graphic, but like nothing leaves my body, right? Everything stays here, keeping all my chi, everything stays here. And about 3 months in, I started noticing something. I had a lot of energy. And I started researching. I'm like, oh, this is why boxers and people who are, cage fighters and stuff, they don't have, relations for like a year, so they're like a lion in the, so they have all this energy, right? So I'm like, wow, I got energy, I'm walking around like, so I would go to places and people would be like, wow, dude, like, you are like glowing. Like, Preston, what are you on? Right? And it's just kept happening so much. And then a few months later went by and I started noticing that not only, because women were still coming into my space, I just wasn't dating. Not only was I attracting a different type of woman, I was attracting different type of business partners and families and connections, and everybody I was attracting, in my mind, I was like, these people are ridiculously awesome. Like, I wasn't attracting these type of people 6 months ago. How are they coming into my space? And I started adding things up. So there's a point where I said, okay, things are good. I got a good handle on this. I'm going to start dating again. Now, take in mind that, where do I want to go with this? Because this story is freaking layered, and you guys are going to trip out when you hear how all of this happened. So, Alexi, my fiance, we're getting married in July, by the way. Alexi was on her own journey, living in New York on her own journey. And she got a spiritual hit at the top of her career. She's making 6 figures plus at this top of her career as a TV host to quit all of that and move to LA. I don't know Alexi. Alexi doesn't know me. She gets this hit, right? So now, back to my story. So I decided I'm going to start dating. I started dating a few people, and it's beautiful, and it's awesome, but they're not it. But I was so clear that sometimes, and think about this for your business, for anything you're creating right now, sometimes you need the 3 and the 2 and what that brings out of you and what that calls forth out of you in order to be the space for the 1, right? So I'm in these relationships, and there's all this beauty, and I'm 10 times more intimate and vulnerable, and all of this. I'm just discovering myself in these relationships because everything's a mirror, it's a reflection. So I'm getting to see who I am in these relationships. And there was a point when I was dating this beautiful young lady named Peggy, and I had a conversation with her. I was like, listen, you are so amazing, but you are not it. And I love you enough, and I love me enough to walk away. So I did. And we loved each other. It was perfect, right? Within that time, I was emailing back and forth with a girl named Eva, who, she's amazing, who I had met years prior but hadn't seen in a few years. Eva and I made the decision that we were going to go on a blind date since we hadn't seen each other in years, right? Or not a blind date, but like we talked on Facebook, and then she drove an hour and a half to my house, right? The morning before that date, I woke up literally out of a dead sleep, like that, and I went, she's coming. The 1, the queen, it, like it. Not just like somebody I'm dating. Whoever's, I don't know what's happening, God, but I hear you. And I knew. Have you guys ever had that where you just knew? There was no evidence of it anywhere, but you knew deep in your cells. So I woke up, go to the slide, I'm going to show you guys. I posted on social media that morning. You can find this right now on my Facebook and Instagram. Go to the wolves, please. That's us all over the world. There. So, this is the morning before the date. I post, I can feel her, #, hashtag wifey, Hashtag she's on her way. Wolves, relationships, love's voice, right? And all my friends were like, yeah, awesome, we're excited for you. No clue who the one is. Just woke up and was like, yes, this is it. The next day, Eva gets to my house. Knock, 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 knock. Open the door. I immediately know that it's not her. Immediately. And, you know, the old me would have been impulsive and been like, okay, thank you, but no thank you, get out of my house, you know? In a nice way, you know? But I knew enough in my spiritual practice to know that we always can take a moment. We always have our stillness. This is one of the things that has been one of the biggest gifts that I've used throughout my life is stillness. Knowing that in the midst of anything you are experiencing, you can always take yourself out. And get grounded to what is. So I invited her up the stairs into my house. I let her into one room, and I went in another room. And I prayed, and I said, Spirit, what would you have me do? And it said, now, go now. And I was like, now? I was like, yes, go on the date. And I'm like, but she's not it. And they're like, do you hear me? And I'm like, okay, I got you, my dude, all right. So I come out, get dressed real quick. I'd already bought tickets to this show, right? Now, this is what I didn't tell you. 2 weeks prior to that, this is why this story is crazy. 2 weeks prior to that, I got a message from a dude named Vince on Facebook that said, I am in London. I have just met the female version of you. You guys are going to work together. Meet Alexi, right? He sent me a side message that said, she's dating my friend, but I think you guys are going to work together. So Alexi gets the hit. She's with this guy who's her friend, but he wants to marry her. Ladies, raise your hand if you've had that experience where there's a guy you just kind of date because he has everything right on paper, but it's not landing. Raise them high if you've had that experience. No? Let's be truthful here. So Alexi's in this space where she's dating this guy, but the guy's not it. And the guy says, hey, I'm going on a boys' trip to London. You got to come with me. And she goes, no, I don't want to go. And he goes, no, you got to come with me. And she knew enough in her spiritual practice to get silent and ask. And Spirit said, you got to go. So she gets on the plane, lands in London. The guy missed his flight. His friend, who was my college roommate, picks her up. They spend the whole day together. He goes, there's a dude named PrestonSmiles in LA that you have to meet. You guys are going to work together. Little did he know. And BT Dub, this guy and Vince it's still a little tricky because I stole his girl essentially. So Vince is my friend and I knew the guy and the whole thing. So puts me in a message. This is weeks before the blind date. Puts me in a message. I read the message. I go, wow, she's beautiful, but she's in London. That's not my girl because my girl would live in LA, right? Hi, Alexi, nice to meet you. If you're ever in LA, give me a call. Done. Now, I'm getting dressed fast, super fast, putting on my stuff. Okay, time to go. Get in the car, start driving. Every single red light in the history of LA, I get stopped at. Just skirt, 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 just over and over again. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. We're already late. And I don't like to be late. So we finally get there, rush up to the thing with the tickets. The guy goes, oh, sorry so much. We oversold the show by 10 seats. We'll let you guys in, but you'll have to stand on the wall. And I'm like, okay, cool, dude, let's just do that. So we stand on the wall. How do I do this? Because I want you guys to see what happened. So the stage is there. All you guys are sitting back here. Whole thing is packed. I'm standing on the wall here. The guy says that, walks off. He takes a few steps. He stops in his tracks. Literally, this happened. Stops in his tracks and goes, wait a minute. Actually, you two, come here. I'm going to put 2 more seats down on the front row. So he takes a chair, Sits it here, sits one there. I'm just like, okay, I'm going with it. I sit down. My date sits here. I look at the stage. I look at my date. And next to her is Alexi. Now, this is where it gets crazy. Because at that point, I'm like, shut up, God! Like, lightning bolts are shooting through my heart. I'm like, I get it! Right? I was clear. This is it. Now, go back to your dream, to the vision. A lot of you guys want to create things in your life right now. Correct? We're still creating. We want to create happy homes and families. We want to make more money. We want to lift ourselves and fill our own cup, right? We all have these visions and these dreams. So here I am seeing, I am inches away from my vision, from my dream. It's here. Alexi didn't see that. So I'm like, oh my God, it's her, right? And my date's in the middle right here, and Alexi's here, and we're going back and forth, and my date's going like this the whole time. And I'm like, what are you doing here? And she's like, I just moved here. And I'm like, but really, what are you doing here? And like all this stuff, we're going back and forth. And the whole show, I couldn't stop looking at her little calf and her leg that was hanging out. So I didn't want to be too so the whole show, I'm just like, wow, God, you did it. Like, whoa, this is crazy. So, fast forward. The show ends. We go to hug each other. I didn't want to let go. We had one of those hugs where I was like, and she's like, okay. And I'm like, well, if you're free for coffee sometime, I would love to have coffee. And she's like, sure. So she schedules in, and I didn't know this, she schedules in a 45-minute business meeting. 1 week later, we meet up. She's at this cafe looking at the menu. I come in thinking it's a date. I come in, walk behind her, grab her hips, and do one of these things, like, hey. And she's like, excuse me. And I'm like, what? We sit down. 20 minutes into the conversation, I'm gone again. She's just, and I'm like, this is my wife. This is who's gonna have my kids. I'm clear. And she's, I'm not listening to anything. I'm just in love. She asked me, what are your dreams? Tell me about your dreams. And I started explaining to her what I was calling in, what I'm sitting in right now. And she said, that's really interesting. And I went for 20 minutes, details. I want to adopt this many kids. I want to have this many kids. I want to travel the world. I want to lead workshops with my wife. I want to I want to live in Topanga. I want to have a property. I want my dad to teach gardening and my mom to teach, the whole thing. She stops, pulls out her computer, opens up a PDF of my entire dream. It was her dream, too. And we both had this moment where we were like, oh, ish, We start walking, and the business meeting turned into a 4-hour date. And we're getting to the part. So now we're kind of dating, right? Somebody get your phone. I see you. I'm just playing. So now we're in the dance. We're kind of dating. But Alexi has a lot of other guys coming after her all at the same time. And I'm still clear that this is my wife, right? So back to it. Your vision, your dream, whatever you are building right now, sometimes the dream will be right there, the vision will be right there, and it's just a little bit out of your grasp, right? So she's there, we're dating. We're not doing anything physical or anything of that nature because she's like, I'm not sure what's what. And she's very smart about that. So she's dating, and there's still guys coming after her, all of them want to marry her. And we have this moment, and I'm going to fast forward to the shebang. So we have this moment where I had a speech at a college, and the guy that she was dating, the friend who missed his flight, invited her to a premiere. He's this famous actor in LA. I won't say his name because that would... So he invites her to a premiere for his little acting thing, and I invite her to this little college speech, right? And she says, oh, I'm so sorry I told that I would go with him. And I said, it's okay, all good, right? Because I understand that it's always perfect timing. What you seek is seeking you. So you just have to be in a vibrational match. So she says, I'll see what I can do. And I said, okay, it's perfectly fine. It's okay if you don't. A few hours later, she calls me back and she says, yeah, I think I'm just going to come with you. And I said, okay, that's perfect. So we go up to the speech. I get on the stage, the whole thing's amazing, and I do this part in my speech where I say, Einstein said that no problem can be solved at the level of consciousness in which it was created. How many of you guys know what that means? Somebody tell me. And her hand just goes up, right? And I'm like, anybody else? Anybody? And she's like, and I'm like, anybody else? No one's raising their hand. So I'm like, Alexi. And she says it, and on the stage, I was like, oh, that is my boo. Like, I just was like, it's done. So, we get in the car, we're driving back, and I get super quiet. Because now I'm like, okay, this is not a game anymore. It's a game, but it's not a game. This is my one. Not the two, not the three. I know for a fact that this was made thousands of years ago. And now the question is who do I have to be within my own self to have this manifest in a way in which it is not me trying to make it happen, but me welcoming it. And so, we pulled up outside of a friend's house so I can get my car. And I said, listen, and guys, if you're in this situation, this is like drop the mics type stuff right here. So I looked at her and in my heart of hearts, I looked at her and I said, listen, I'm so clear on what this is and who we are and what our gifts are for this world that I'm willing to take my name out of the hat. So I know there's a lot of guys chasing you right now, but I know what this is. And because of that, I can no longer date you until you are clear. Thank you so much. I love you. And I hugged her and I got out of the car. Got in my car. I didn't bawl, but I damn near did. I was feeling it. I was like, I just walked away from my wife. God, why would you place it so close if I can't have it? I got in my car and I drove off and I talked to my buddy and he was like, dude, it's perfect, man. Like, you had to do what you had to do. And I'm like, cool, it's all good. 5 hours later, she called me. Hey, what's going on? Hi. I'm like, what's going on? She's like, I'm clear. I'm like, what do you mean you're clear? She's like, I got rid of everybody. Let's do this. And I was like, yes! And the rest is history. We don't attract that which we want, we attract that which we are. And what I did unconsciously was I got into vibrational alignment. Vibrational alignment, because everything is vibrating on this planet. Our science has now proved that everything is vibrating. So if you can match the vibration of the frequency, you call the thing in, no matter what the thing is. That's us in New Zealand 3 months ago. We literally are all over the world. This is what I did, because you got to think about this. There's a lot of things that were involved. Sacrifice, risk, being clear on the vision, no matter what. Being willing, and this is the big one, being willing to walk away. If it's not meeting you where you're meeting it. You guys follow? These are all principles that if you put into place, game on. And the beautiful thing is that none of it matters. Life is just going to keep lifing. Life doesn't, everything's a neutral event. It's just information. I find that the most transformational thing you could ever do is get into a relationship and attempt to have it be healthy. Attempt to have it be amazing. Because everybody can get in relationships. That's why the divorce rate's so high. Everybody gets into relationships, but nobody's willing to make it healthy. Nobody's willing to face off with themselves and check in with who they're being. Alexi, this is a beautiful story, guys, and we're still in the work. Alexi is the biggest card holder to my triggers. The things that trigger me the most in this world, she holds the card to. And I hold the card to hers. If you're in a relationship, you know what I'm talking about. Where it just pisses you off. You want to choke them and you want to kiss them all at the same time. I'm like, that's real. And that's the work. It's unfolding, forever unfolding. So thank you guys so much that I could share my story. We're going to take questions and answers, but thank you so much. How much time do I have? I got a question right here. 10 minutes. Dang it. All right. That story was longer than I intended it to be.
Okay, Preston, now is the moment of the truth.
Yes, ma'am. Get me.
Last time you were here, you were having an issue with your fiancé.
Uh-huh.
The folding of the kitchen towel.
Of the kitchen towels. What'd you say?
Last time.
No, yeah.
Last time when you were here.
Yes.
You were having a problem with your fiancé.
Yes.
About the issue to folding the kitchen towel.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you solve the problem?
Yes. Yes. And thank you so much. Any other questions? There we go.
I've been hearing that formula, or whatever it's called, of matching your
Vibrational frequency.
whatever you're trying to. Let's say I want pancakes. How do I match my vibration to a pancake? Just as an example.
Yes. So for me, it's not in the details. You see, I didn't know what Alexi would look like. I didn't know where she would come from. It was making myself the space for, because there's a difference between having an intention and becoming the space for magic, right? So I had an intention so pancakes, I'm all for that, like for sure. But the way I play in this space is I stay out of the details. Now, I know a lot of people will say it's the exact opposite. For me, it's always about what am I looking to feel? What am I looking to experience in this lifetime? And for me, getting that reflection of the queen, the one, come a few times and it resonated with me, then it became about becoming the space for whatever would show up. You know? Because the thing is, you can have an intention for pancakes, and, you know, freaking cereal shows up, and you're like, no, excuse me, I'm waiting for pancakes. Not understanding that the cereal is actually what the universe, God, Buddha, Allah, Krishna, whatever the name is on the door for you, that is what they wanted you to have. That's what you were calling in. But we're so fixated on the pancakes, the Ferrari, the dress, the anything, that we miss life. So for me, it was about staying out of the details and getting back to what it was that I was calling in and matching that frequency. So the frequency of, let's say, more money. Who wants more money, right? Yeah? The frequency of more money is abundance. So the question for me, the work for me, is how can I be abundance everywhere I go? How can I embody abundance everywhere I go? Because if I can do that, and here's the thing, it's not, and nothing against our like sort of hippy-dippy friends, but like it's not just that. It's your thoughts, your words, and your deeds. So for me, if I'm calling in financial abundance, yes, I get to be in the frequency of financial abundance. But I also get to put the rubber, what's the statement? The meets the road. Exactly. I get to do that. I get to put in the work that matches what I'm calling in. And the biggest work there is. Everybody in here who's done any work will understand it's always here. Yes, it's the tactics and things like that. I'm making more money than I've ever had in my entire life right now. Right now. And the only thing that shifted, because I was working hard before. There's a lot of hardworking people. My mom's a hardworking person. My grandmother's a hardworking person who does not have much money. There's a lot of hardworking people. The difference between them and I is I stepped into the space of abundance. That is where the magic is. You feel me? Oh, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. One more question, or a couple more. Question, we can just yell them out. What you got?
You talk about like how your goals can be like just in a scratching distance. So how would you say about going at them and getting them when it's just that close but you can't reach it?
Say that one more time on the mic so everybody can hear it.
So you said that there was kind of instances where your goals are right there in scratching distance but you can't get
Yeah.
So how would you say about going to get them when it's hard to get them?
Persistence trumps everything, but also, so listening, because for those of you guys who are have lived enough life, and not saying you haven't, but yeah, you know that sometimes what you think you want, you're not actually ready for. So we only attract what we're actually ready for. So your goals, your vision, the thing could be so, it's right there. But when that happens for me, I just go, okay, I'm not the space for it yet. I'll keep putting one foot in front of the other and doing the work. I'm still headed towards it. Still headed towards the mountain. But if it has not landed yet, okay. Because once you really get that this whole thing's about the journey, everything changes. Because nothing, and I want to reflect this back to you because I tell this to my coaching clients all the time, you could lose every penny in your entire bank account, and the only thing that would happen is that you would just make it back. Like, what kind of freedom is that? And yet we walk around, trying to protect everything, Oh, I got this little bit of money. I can't risk anything because if I lose it, then what's going to happen? You are not in Africa. You are not in the middle of India. You are in McAllen, Texas. Like, we can do this. Step out there. Okay, one more question. Let's do it. Speed round. Thank you.
Do you have some place on YouTube or some place that we can find your videos?
Yeah, if you just type in PrestonSmiles on YouTube, probably. Huh? Infinite Love will probably share this one at some point. Yeah. Thank you.
Another question.
Yes.
One back.
All right. Let's do it. You can yell it out if you are going to speak loud enough. You guys having fun? Are we good still? Yeah? Awesome. Okay, there we go.
So you were saying how you should be finding the vibration that calls to you, and what if you have multiple vibrations hitting you, and you don't know what to do? And I mean, I was holding out for pancakes, and then they made me bagel, which is great,
Yeah.
and Cheerios is healthy. And,
Yeah. Cheerios is not healthy, by the way, but yeah. I know what you're saying.
healthier than pancakes.
Yeah.
So and that's not just in relationships.
Yes.
It's in what am I going to do for when I grow up?
Yes. Yes. I feel you. So you're saying that you have, just like make this real for me. You're saying that you have multiple dreams and things that you would like to experience in life, but you're not sure which one to chase or to go after?
And I have the, ability to
Do any of them?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know which one to choose.
Boom. This is great. This is a great question. You do whatever is right there for you until it's not there for you anymore. Because the thing about life is like, back to it, life is just going to keep lifing, and none of it matters. It doesn't matter if you hit that mountaintop, because the moment you reach it, you're just going to start the journey of a new mountaintop. That's the gift of life. So, chase whatever you want, get in vibrational alignment, and here's the deal. You may find, because see, for me, I had all these things. I went to that speaker thing with Vic, and I don't use any of the stuff they taught me there. Guess why? Because I was still thinking in the box. I was like, okay, I have this gift. What is that? How does that look in society? Oh, it's called a motivational speaker. Cool, I'm gonna go learn from some people, right? And I start going down this road that wasn't truly my road. But what's fantastic about that is it led me into conversations with Vic, which led me to here, And I've done it my own way. My career doesn't exist. I just made it up. The stuff I do, it's the way that it's being done. I make 90% of my money online without, it's just residual. It's just happening. From a business that, the internet it's not going away, Anybody in here who has a business, you get with social media and the internet because it's just getting started. We're pioneers. I know I'm getting sidetracked here. Dude, chase whatever you're going to chase. Go after it, understanding that it's about the journey and what you become in the midst of that. And then you may get there and go, okay, I accomplished that thing. Now what's next? Cool, I'll go there. and then you'll be in the dance and all that stuff, and you get there, and then it'll just keep happening, because that's the nature of life. Got it? Oh. Couple more questions. How much time do we have? Speed round. Okay, one more question. Does anybody have a question?
Okay.
Boom.
So you're saying is when somebody goes through a hardship, could be a loss or anything, where should they be at that time? How can they get out of that? Raise their energy
Yes.
so that they can receive the goodness
Yes.
of life.
So that was my other talk that I didn't do. And that would be, we'd be here for another hour if I really dove into that. But it's not, Simran already spoke to this, both of them actually did. It's allowed the experience to complete itself. Children are the greatest example for us until we domesticate them like German shepherds and have them stop being awesome, right? So children, let me just give you an example. So Teddy's playing with Tommy. Oh, Tommy, I love you, right? Tommy steals a swing. This is what happens. Tommy stole my swing, he stole my swing, he stole my swing, Mommy! Ah, Tommy stole my swing. Hi, Tommy! Can we play? And then they're back playing, right? Adults, somebody steals some money, somebody makes a mistake. We make up a story about it. It's still a neutral event. Everything is a neutral event. The worst things on this planet are still neutral events until we give them a meaning. But the thing happens, we give it the meaning. Oh, this is bad. You betrayed me. Betrayal, betrayal, betrayal. I hate you, right? We have still yet to, because the story creates emotions. But what most humans do is right after the story creates the emotions, we justify. So he breaks up with you. You create the story. He's a dog. All men are dogs anyway, and I'll never get married again. Right? You never let it land. You justify, and then this is what happens. That's my other story. Have you guys ever seen like a beach ball trying to get pushed in the water? What happens? Just slides out, right? So because you adults never let themselves complete, they never experience the full experience of sadness or anger or overwhelm or anxiety or anything. They don't let it complete. So because of that, they're driving down the road and somebody cuts them off, and what do? Screw you, buddy, I'll kill you! Why? Because it didn't complete over there. And it just keeps showing up. We yell at our kids. We lose it at work. We start watching porn. We start checking out, overeating, keeping ourselves busy. This is what we do as a society. And now we have an opportunity. That's a great question. I'm going to finish this because I could go on for an hour easily on this. The answer is we allow the experience to complete itself. So for me, when I am experiencing some type of pain, the suffering comes. I'm not going to go there. But yes, I love that you said that. I experience the pain. I, personally, as PrestonSmiles, take myself and I go into a quiet place and I experience it. I'm experiencing pain. I'm experiencing anger. I'm experiencing mother. I'm experiencing 12. I'm experiencing slap. And I let the thing go. And I take the journey. And whatever comes up, I let it come up. And that sometimes leads to tears. Sometimes it just, whatever it is. And then, have you guys ever had one of those good cries? And after, what happens after? After you actually cry? You feel better, right? Because there's space. That's why kids are able to go back and play with Tommy until we make them German shepherds. So I love you guys so much. Thank you.